Howdy, everybody. How are all you wonderful, wonderful people doing today? Oops, did not open the streamer bot chat. That would certainly help. And through it purely by stubborn spine, oh, I'll give 'em stomach aches. I love using this music because it doesn't get flagged for copyright. Because indie devs are cool like that. On the train on my way home. Doing 90 in the Prius, trying to make it. I always try to be wary about how I use it and use her music in videos because, you know, I just don't want to be a dick about it. Whoops. Actually, yeah, sure. We'll keep this one on. Hello, more gays. Okay, 1 second. Almost done setting up. So in terms of scripts, I'm on my way to Porco Rosso. Oh, hang on, I gotta update the thing. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and color. There we are. So I got this thing here. This has been deeply satisfying. Let's see. I did finish writing for Ponyo, and we're going to record that today, hopefully. I finished writing for Pompoko. What else did I finish writing? Oh, there's a third one in here. Where was it? Pompoko, Ponyo. No, that was it. I still haven't finished the script for My Neighbors the Yamadas. Fucking hell. So many boxes to fill. Oh yeah, I did one of these for the fucking Pokemon video. Just a progress bar for each generation. It was so satisfying to fill in. I actually realized, like, halfway through writing the Ponyo script that I'd actually spaced out when when we were watching it on stream. I had to reopen the video and rewatch the second half of it. It was so fucking annoying. Because I don't even know. Because like if I space out in a movie, I don't even notice if I've done it. Also, one of the reasons I love making little checklists like this, it does help me stay on task, but it's also a good way to do little micro procrastination. Don't lie. That's why you do stuff like this too. Let's see. My Neighbors the Yamadas gets a B. Actually, let's just go through all of that through this way. So I gave Castle in the Sky, where is it? A B. B plus. Did I give Kiki B plus or a B minus? Yeah, okay, I gave that. Only Yesterday gets an S. Porco Rosso, I haven't finished writing yet. I am in the process of writing it. Pompoko, what did I give Pompoko? B minus. You know, I am going to move that to a C plus. And that means I need to get the fucking color rubric back. Where the fuck did I put that? That's in templates, first impressions. And it's here. Don't crash. You crashed. Fucking hell. Is Ocean Waves the one where you couldn't find a dub so it doesn't count? Yeah, I'm not doing Ocean Waves because there's no English dub. There's a dub in like literally every other fucking language apparently, so I don't know what the hell is going on there. I don't know why, but for some reason just like eye-dropping the colors of the grades has a nasty habit of like, it'll always crash fireworks the first time. And have pretty good English dubs. Why not give it one? Stormborn, there's no point in asking us. Like, there's no point asking anyone in the chat. We're not industry insiders. We don't know. Oh, shit. This didn't get saved. Fuck me. Oh, wait, no. I haven't done that one yet. What did I give Porco? A plus? Yeah, you gave it an A plus. You got a B. You also got an A plus. You got a B minus. I gave Ponyo an A-. Yeah, sure. If the wind rises, the bottom of the fucking bottom. And I gave when Marnie was there. What did I give you specifically? I gave you a B. I was gonna give when I was all set to give when Marnie was there a D, but then like at the very last minute, it got me to cry, and I was like, okay, fine. I think he's asking Ghibli, kind of. There's nobody from Ghibli here in the chat. I understand you're positing a hypothetical question to nobody in particular. What I'm saying is don't do that. We both ended up crying toward the end. What was the bit that got you crying? Like, what did it? I actually only realized a little while ago that like I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 6 of these lined up sequentially. So like I actually went back into the document and I did their titles and I just compressed them all together. It looks very satisfying. Like it's the big sign the video's really coming through. I think it's best to watch Whisper of the Heart and then The Cat Returns because they both connect in a certain way. Oh yeah, I will. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that's satisfying. The Secret World of Arrietty is an adaptation of the British series of novels The Borrowers, about a race of little human beings. The only problem is, I use a piano track from the film as the background music. There's no point in getting really intricate with the background music because it's not a very long, each segment isn't very long. But then you end up going from like the somber piano music to something like perfect for a lazy Sunday afternoon. Little people with great big plans. Little people, we've got helping hands. It's especially bad with The Wind Rises because The Wind Rises was supposed to be Hayao Miyazaki's magnum opus, as he retired shortly after
I ultimately came away from this film with a decidedly worse opinion of Hayao Miyazaki, and if I'm being completely honest, perhaps he should have stayed in retirement where he fucking belonged.
Is this Nutsy Land so good? Would you leave it if you could?
Yeah, this Nutsy Land is good. We would leave it if we could.
We bring the world new order. I'll this world new order. Everyone of foreign race will love the pure space when we bring to the world disorder.
I just realized I was talking with my fucking mic off the whole goddamn time. Yikes, I didn't know much about the film and seeing that summary at the end, I'm not sure I want to. Yeah, it's not very, fuck, what was the thing? Right. So anyway, as I was saying, the music for The Wind Rises and like the background music I use for The Wind Rises compared to the grade card, it clashes so horribly. Now, I could easily fix that by just like, using a less disrespectful song, but fuck no, I'm not doing that for The Wind fucking Rises. But like, yeah, I spent a while, and I think I did this one on, I either did this one on stream or in a Discord call, but I spent a while basically going, what do I use for the grade card for The Wind Rises as like bullet points? Do I use a plane? Maybe I could find a vector of the 0, and then I just realized blood splatters. Perfect. I know this one's gonna come in and just like people are gonna finish like From Up on Poppy Hill and then come to this one. They're gonna be like, oh god, I'm about to be in pain. I'm gonna feel bad for when Marty was there. I mean, fucking hell, you had to come after this, and you're already not a very good movie to begin with. Actually, you know what? I feel fine. I feel comfortable showing you the Red Turtle segment, because this is the funniest one.
Okay, so the Red Turtle is a weird one. It's a completely silent, well, almost completely silent film about a man being shipwrecked on a desert island and trying to engineer his escape. During the process, he meets a mysterious red turtle who keeps destroying his rafts. In a rage, he flips the turtle over to let it die in the hot sun, but after about a day comes to regret his decision and tries to bring it back to life. However, the turtle then turns into a human woman. The two bond, which results in the man no longer wanting to leave the island, and instead he stays there with the turtle and the two end up raising a child together. Yep. turtle fucking. The film then follows them as their son grows up into a man and eventually leaves the island, and the two grow old together until the man dies and she turns back into a turtle and swims back into the sea. Now, there are a number of ways someone could approach this film. It could be from a thematic standpoint, how this film paints a picture of someone trying to fight against the tide of mortality, and how ultimately we're forced to merely take what life throws at us and try to find the positive in our situation, or from an artistic lens, covering the sheer amount of visual storytelling and the bold direction to tell a story with no dialogue. However, I'm going to do neither of things. I've decided to have a mental breakdown instead. So this turtle right here, this turtle is a fucking sociopath. All this guy wants to do is get off this desert island, and this absolute monster completely destroys his raft 3 goddamn times. This was targeted. And then this little shit fuck crawls onto the beach like she's not expecting him to flip her over. I'd have done that were I in his position. Absolutely warranted response. The turtle seems like she's dead, but she's not. She's just fucking playing dead, and she plays dead just long enough for the guilt to sink in and the trauma bonding begins. Once she turns into a human woman, she's aloof and disinterested, as if to tempt him with the thought of actual human contact. Except it's not. It's a fucking turtle. So once they get together, bam, she's got him. She's got him in her disgusting little fins. And then we see their kids. What is that? Turtle rape. I thought only dolphins did that, but apparently sea turtles can too. This turtle, this fucking turtle, straight up stole this man's life. She possessively stops him from leaving the island, baby traps him, and keeps him there on the island until he dies of old age. Any life he had before this, any family or loved ones, he never sees them again. And when he's dead, she just turns back into a turtle and goes back into the ocean, presumably to entomb some other weary traveler. This is a siren. This is what sirens do. This is a horror movie. The Red Turtle is about a psychopathic turtle that drags marooned men to their deaths for her own sick amusement. 10 out of 10.
If a little gator, whose name was Gator Ted, climbed inside a turtle shell and ate a loaf of bread, the shell would make him snappy, and he would eat some more. Alligator snapping turtles can eat a grocery store. Turtles come from the Amazon, Asia, and the Western Pond. Stink body's another one. Turtles are my friends.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to say about the Red Turtle. But then, while I was bantering with my wife, I came up with the thought process of, like, when you think about it, that turtle's a fucking psycho. And I was like, okay, we're gonna be silly with this one. This video is gonna be a monster. Oh, hey, Gene. Lexer, what was the fucking TMNT thing you said about this? There we go. Oh, that looks horrid. You actually like Master of Disguise? No. I think I gave that 1 star on Letterboxd. One, two, three, four, single payer health insurance. Looks at baby trapping turtle waifu side. What did I walk into? We're talking about the red turtle.
Absolutely warranted response.
Okay. Enough procrastinating. Run into some people who are confused as to why Porco Rosso is Casablanca meets Top Gun meets Laser Pig. Oh, fuck. Hey, look, more procrastinating because you can fucking see this. Where'd it go? Ah, here we go. Porco Rosso is Casablanca meets Top Gun meets Laser Pig. If you're a connoisseur of film, that sounds like the worst idea in the world. And it is. If someone pitched that to me, I'd shoot them. So why is Porco Rosso good? Let me get back to you on that. Porco Rosso is about a pig who flies planes. He makes a living as a bounty hunter in the Adriatic Sea. The film begins with him rescuing a bunch of children from seaplane pirates who are way too happy to be hostages. Clips. Seriously, these kids have seen the horrors. Porco spends his time hunting pirates, hiding out in his little grotto, and decidedly ignoring the absolutely stunning, honey-voiced woman who couldn't possibly be more into him if she absorbed herself into the pores of his skin. When one day an American shoots his plane down, he has to travel all the way to Italy to have it repaired. While Porco's plane is being repaired by a young and brilliant engineer named Theo, the question of who he is and why he's a pig starts coming to light. Porco was a World War I flying ace who lost his best friend in the war. Porco was a World War I flying ace. No, not that one, a different one. Who lost his best friend in the war, and after Italy was overtaken by fascists, he deserted and became a bounty hunter in the sea. Better a pig than a fascist. I've run into some people who are confused as to why Porco is magically transformed into a pig, but it's really just symbolic of how he feels about himself. Porco is dismissive of most people and works in a profession that tends to have a negative outlook on life, but he also hates himself and considers himself a coward who only looks out for his own interests. You could just as easily replace pig with beast or grimesoul. Based on extremely romanticized stories about the Air Force and seaplane pilots specifically. fixing his ship and fucking fixing his ship and stowing away back to the Adriatic. Catch wind of him. Catch wind from the fascists. Catch wind of him. Wind of him. She helps Porco get back. Porco! Wow, she helps Porco get back his mojo by betting herself in a seaplane fight. Self in a seaplane fight. What? What? Describes himself as a womanizer and even dismisses the idea of Fia working on his plane, on his plane because because she's a woman. He's a woman, and he's weirdly upfront about that. About that too. Curtis only agrees to fight Porco because the chance to marry a, let me check here, 17-year-old girl is on the line. This movie's, this film's not subtle. Yeah, this film's not subtle about the kind of men we're dealing with here. Where is it? That episode is Snapper. 519. Ooh. I might actually have this one. 1 second. Okay. I'm genuinely thinking. Hang on a second. It seems to just be giving him shit for the sake of it. And then I'm gonna play this clip. And then I'm gonna play this clip with the with the characters' faces photoshopped over them.
All right, I'm seeing a woman.
Well, that's not a headline, Charlie. That's the name of the paper.
I know, but she's different from the type of woman I usually go out with.
Yeah, different how?
Well, she's a little older.
Well, you really couldn't go younger without having to register with the authorities.
Porco is about the only male character in the film, aside from her grandfather, that doesn't try. Seems to be just giving him shit for the sake of it. Porco's ultimate motive and to fight Curtis at the end isn't even for the sake of honor and for the sake of honor or whatnot, but basically. Ridiculous bet that she made in the first place. It was the best part of the film. Like she is utterly fucking unhinged. It was the best part of the film. She is utterly fucking unhinged. But yeah, it was the best part of the film. She's utterly fucking unhinged, and where most comedy comes from. Like without her, this movie is just old men. It's just old men wallowing in self-pity. It's just old men wallowing in self-pity. Honestly, she's the real. A really good fucking plane. She's not even betting on Porco. She's betting on her own brilliance. not even betting on Porco. She's betting on her own brilliance. That being said, it does... Conversely, Takahata's films always take this kind of behavior deadly seriously. It's a problem that tends to run underneath a lot of anime, if we're being honest, as a lot of the best creators are old fucks, and a lot of the younger creators are otaku shut-ins. Problem that tends to run underneath a lot of anime, if we're being honest, is a lot of the best creators are old old fucks, and a lot of the younger creators are otaku shut-ins. Only really get away from it in anime, both written and directed by women. I said and put your hand down. I said and put your hand down. I keep putting N instead of a C. It's like difficult to discuss or summarize. Films, Porco Rosso's themes aren't that difficult to discuss or summarize, and yeah, I found myself I suppose it helps the film is on the shorter side. Shows you a miserable old fuck who peaked at the Mile High Club. Then fucks off after the character development is done. Eh, 5 KB, not bad. Okay. Years in the 90s, a Slive of Life comic? A Slice of Life comic. It was basically the Japanese equivalent to Calvin and Hobbes, but without the philosophy divergences. Takes a number of short stories and stitches them together without anything approaching a coherent narrative. Work, there's a lot of soft mood pieces in their catalog. Honestly, it's akin to a more grounded version of Howl's Moving Castle, or if Ocean Waves was good. Is that it's directed by Isao Takahata, the director of Grave of the Fireflies and Only Yesterday. This one is probably the lightest of his films and the least bitterly scathing about urban living. Lamada's. Or eldest they pluck out of a peach in the river, and the youngest they find by cutting up on some bamboo, and no, not the suicide, baby! We get a number of different vignettes, starting with the family accidentally leaving Notico at the department store, then having ADHD, not to go quarreling like an old married couple, to being ravaged by Compet, trying to bond and failing horribly. This family is very dysfunctional, but in a fun kind of dysfunctional, like The Simpsons, not the modern kind of dysfunctional, like the Graves or the Peets. Treated that movie, especially the teenage girl. It's an animated dom-com. seems comparatively worse. Oh, yep, that's it. As the years go on, the bad episodes just fall out of memory. Now, that being said, this film is way too fucking long. Like, oh, right. This is one of them that I probably should have culled down. And the novelty wore off, and I started nodding off. Movies, Ghibli. My Neighbor's the Yamato. There you are. Oh, I still haven't oh. Nope. Audio track English. Title track disabled.
Means something.
Do you mean kidnapped? Sporting goods store? You mean kidnapped? What can you say about her? Sporting goods.
I think. Quiet like no.
Just
Stop.
We were happened to the door. I taught our teaching.
You want some?
These days, it's like saying all strangers are common criminals.
don't worry. Nonoku's got big teeth.
Oh, cake. I want some.
Okay, just one bite.
Yum.
Just like Jaws.
Stupid. I love that bit. BB Bonnie moment. You know, BB obviously. Everything. Like, when she gets left behind at the mall, she doesn't, she doesn't consider herself lost. Everyone else is lost. It's everyone else that's lost.
Horace, you were.
Actually the main character of the original comic, at least according to Wikipedia. Attacking your food like Jaws is how little girls are supposed to eat. Alvin by way of Bonnie presence in the entire story. Really it, like... It's really it. Like, if you want to... What is a dom-com? Domestic comedy. Oh. Okay, give me the grossest contemporary book you can think of. Contemporary, like not fantasy. Yes, that does count as fantasy. That's all right. I think I got it anyway. You want to watch a dom-com anime? This is basically sort of call. Okay, okay. There's plenty of. And then I show these. Oh, bye. Does the C&D and CD call stand for domestic and comedy? No. Most I could give you is a poem I wrote that consists entirely of swearing. Ah, I should have put "Don't Move" on there. It doesn't have a cover, though. Okay, there's plenty of dom-com anime, but I mean one whose plot doesn't turn into one of these. And that'll do. That'll do for My Neighbors the Yamadas. That's really all it needs. Okay, Porco Rosso, Pompoko, My Neighbors the Yamadas, and Ponyo. I can never tell if it's Ponyo or Ponyo. Characters use both in that film. Take a look, all those eyes of yours. Take a look, take a look. All right, we're good. Porco Rosso is Casablanca meets Top Gun meets Laser Pig. Now, if you're a connoisseur of film, that sounds like the worst idea in the world. And it is. If someone pitched that to me, I'd shoot them. So why is Porco Rosso good? Let me get back to you on that. Porco Rosso is about a pig who flies planes. He makes his living as a bounty hunter in the Adriatic Sea, and the film begins with him rescuing a bunch of children from seaplane pirates who are way too happy to be hostages. Clips. Seriously, these kids have seen the horrors and laughed in their face. Porco spends his time hunting pirates, hiding out in his little grotto, and decidedly ignoring the absolutely stunning honey-voiced woman who couldn't possibly be more into him if she absorbed herself into the pores of his skin, when one day an American shoots his plane down and he has to travel all the way to Italy to have it repaired. Is the Adriatic Sea? Oh, okay. It's between Italy and Bosnia. Porco spends his time hunting pirates, hiding out in his little grotto and decided... Oh, wait, no, I just already did that. While Porco's plane is being repaired by a young and brilliant engineer named Theo, the question of who he is and why he's a pig starts coming to light. Porco was a World War I flying ace, no, not that one, a different one, who lost his best friend in the war, and after Italy was overtaken by fascists, he deserted and became a bounty hunter in the sea. Better a pig than a fascist. I've run into some people who are confused as to why Porco is magically transformed into a pig. But it's really just symbolic of how he feels about himself. Porco is dismissive of most people and works in a profession that tends to have a negative outlook on life, but he also hates himself and considers himself a coward who only looks out for his own interests. You could just as easily replace pig with beast or Grimesoul. However, his engineer, Theo, is apparently the daughter of Hayao Miyazaki because she was raised on extremely romanticized stories about the Air Force and seaplane pilots specifically, and in the process of fixing his ship and stowing away back onto the Adriatic when the fascists catch wind of him, she helps Porco get his mojo back by betting herself in a seaplane fight. What? The bet.
In an unusual twist for Miyazaki, misogyny is a pretty big theme in this film. Porco describes himself as a womanizer and even dismisses the idea of Fio working on his plane because she's a woman, and he's weirdly upfront about that too. Refusal. Fio's grandfather, seemingly aware of the kind of person Porco is, tells him not to get any funny ideas about Fio. And hell, all of the pirates are salivating over both her and Gina, and Curtis only agrees to fight Porco because of the chance to marry a... Let me check here. 17-year-old girl is on the line. Yeah, this film's not subtle about the kind of men we're dealing with here. To his very small credit, Porco is about the only male character in the film, aside from her grandfather that is, that doesn't try to hit on Fio, and Fio's grandfather seems to just be giving him shit for the sake of it. And Porco's motivation to fight Curtis at the end isn't even for the sake of honor or Porco's motivation to fight Curtis at the end isn't even for the sake of honor or whatnot, but just to keep Fio out of the ridiculous bet she made in the first place. Fio is the best part of the film. She is utterly fucking unhinged, and where most of the film's comedy comes from. Without her, the movie is just old men wallowing in self-pity. Honestly, she's the real hero, as she designs a really good fucking plane. It's built by her and the women in her family, and ultimately, she's not even betting on Porco, she's betting on her own brilliance. That being said, it does slip into similar problems that Castle in the Sky had. Whenever Miyazaki's films slip into discussing misogyny, much of it ends up being played for laughs. The viewer is supposed to laugh at all of these aging men fawning over a teenager. Conversely, Takahata's films always take this kind of behavior deadly seriously. It's a problem that tends to run underneath a lot of anime, if we're being honest, as a lot of the best creators are either old fucks, and a lot of the younger creators are otaku shut-ins. You only really get away from it in anime both written and directed by women. Show Delicious in Dungeon raising its hand. I said and, not or. Put your hand. I said and, not or. Put your hand down. Like most of Miyazaki's films, Porco Rosso's themes aren't that difficult to discuss or summarize, and yet I found myself having a lot of fun with the film that I can't quite put my finger on. I suppose it helps the film is on the shorter side of Ghibli's output, only about 94 minutes compared to the 120 to 150 that they normally get. So the film doesn't really overstay its welcome, which it absolutely would have. It comes in, shows you a miserable old fuck who peaked in the Mile High Club, brings in a genius teenager to smack him in the back of the head with a cattle prod, and then fucks off after the character development is done. Seriously though, get those kids some therapy. Where'd it go? This is the music I chose for it. Oh, hang on.
It's raining man. Hallelujah, it's raining man. Amen. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna let myself get absolutely soaking wet.
Wonderful choice. Thank you. I recently introduced the server to Laserpig.
Where did I put that fucking... Who was singing this? Laserpig. Here, I'll show you the thing I fucking did. I know you're probably inclined to click away. Trust the process.
Hey! Stop watching this shit! It's time for history! My name is Laserpig, twice voted YouTube's sexiest pig. Do not fact check this. We're going to talk about tanks. If you want to experience the true horrors of the First World War, strap a load of paint cans to your back, dig a hole in your backyard, and sit in the rain for 4 years. No, you can't bring the enemy tits into the trench with you! No! Bonk! Because as we all know, under the skirt of every woman are 2 3.5-inch Hotchkiss machine guns ready to unleash a molten steam of hot lead to spray down their enemies. I'm assuming. I'm gay. I've never seen a vagina. I believe they look like this.
Get the fuck out of my horse girl piss factory and stop stealing all the piss!
No, I need it! Oh, look, it's a steak bait. You want the steak bait? You want the steak bait? Go get it! Oh, you can't retire the King's 108th Piss Monkey and Brandy Division. Their commander shot Napoleon's personal arsewiper at the Battle of Kuala Lumpur in 1842. This is the pride of the British Empire. This is a phone. Good Lord. By Jove. Will I never. And what is that buzzing noise?
Citizen, your unpatriotic attitude has been noted. You will be deducted 5 Tesco Club Card points.
Brilliant. That's perfect. Yeah. I just dropped that in the fucking memes that in memes give us sunbeams like a couple days ago. People are like, what the fuck? I think I directly sent it to Lolo saying I found the second coolest Brit. I started typing that before you said his name. I still need to find new music for Ponyo. Fucking hell. If anyone can come up with either very fitting or very cursed music for Ponyo, please put it in the fucking thing. Huh. I think I was supposed to put that somewhere else. Like that remark about Ponyo being 20 minutes too long. No. Ponyo's about the length it needs to be. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to double check every grade card now. That terrible seagull rap that Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote for the live-action Little Mermaid. That wasn't terrible. You're just a bitch. Baby Shark. See, I don't know if I could get away with using Baby Shark. I think if anything's gonna get content ID'd, it's gonna be Baby Shark. That was my first thought. Like, Baby Shark was my first fucking thought, but it was like, There's no way I'm going to get away with using that. Ocean Man. Ooh. Oh, wow, he just uploaded a new fucking video today. That's funny. Ocean Man cover. Yeah, I can't find a cover that's not going to get content ID'd. As a general rule of thumb, if it has over like 2 million views, like, sorry, not 2 million, fuck. I was looking at something else. As a general rule of thumb, if it has over like 500k views, it's probably going to get content ID'd. Use a remix or a version without the vocals. I'm not doing that! Oh. I found one. Wait a sec. Got it. Got it. Dodging content ID by stealing covers. There we go. Oop. All right, there we go. We're good. We're all good. All right, back to recording. Anyway, back to recording. Pompoko is the second film directed by Isao Takahata and really establishes the themes of Takahata's films, which is to look at Tokyo and say, I hate you and hope you die. Pompoko was the second film directed by Isao Takahata and really establishes the themes of Takahata's films, which is to look at Tokyo and say, I hate you and I hope you die. Pompoko, you can really feel him just banging on the glass of his, you can really feel him just banging on the glass of his urban apartment, screaming, let me out of here! I want to return to the farm! Pompoko is about a bunch of tanuki, a species of raccoon that's on par with dragons when it comes to having weird legends and myths made out of them. Show paintings. No, these are real paintings. These are feudal age shitposts.
Anyway, the raccoons are fighting a, let's be nice and say, brutal and bloody war over the most important thing, territory. The forest is shrinking because the humans keep knocking it over to make room for new houses because their cities are overcrowded. Except they're not, it's just too expensive for most people to live in the city. Except they're not, it's just too expensive for most people to live in the city. Those condos have to stay empty so that they don't depreciate in value. The raccoons decide the sensible and level-headed thing to do is learn to master the lost art of transformation, infiltrate the humans, and slit their throats when their backs are turned. Black screen. What do you mean that's... What do you mean that's too What do you mean that's too inappropriate for a children's film? They all have their balls out, Esau. What do you mean that's too inappropriate for a children's film? They all have their balls out, Esau. All-out war breaks out as the raccoons attack and disrupt human construction efforts by driving trucks and equipment off the roads. When that doesn't work, they try exploiting a bunch of gullible, superstitious rubes by pretending to be angry spirits to the point of frightening one cop into suicide. Over the course of the film, they end up reaching for bigger and bigger hauntings. None of it actually works because the symbols and iconography they use in their hauntings are no longer revered the way they'd been before. They're a novelty, and oftentimes their hauntings are simply assumed to be a performance by a theater group or some other mode of entertainment. This is emphasized by two old men who are sitting at the booth drinking themselves blind while all these surreal images play out before them, and the two of them are just talking about how none of that is real. It's just your brain playing tricks on you. Later, a news broadcast probably hits the raccoons the hardest. 1:18:30. Some of the people living there would probably leave after all the shit the raccoons are doing, and the raccoons possibly could have won. But they just can't afford to. In the end, despite all their efforts, the raccoons' only recourse is to simply transform into humans and live among them in their world, assimilating completely into urban life. The film carries a lot of Takahata's usual fare. If you've seen a Takahata film before, you've seen this. He hates urban living and romanticizes rural life, but there's an additional factor in here in the fact that a lot of the story deals with assimilation. This is probably as allegorical as Ghibli films get, as the raccoons' tactics to keep the humans out of their forests rely on spiritual traditions that have been boiled away by post-war reconstruction and private industry. Much of the film revolves around the fact that while the raccoons can scare away the workers, ultimately they are only replaced by new workers who need the money, and the police come in to handle the rest, all of them operating at the behest of a corporate mogul too far away from the hauntings to care. This particular film is probably the most aggressively anti-capitalist of Ghibli's work. And covers a part of capitalism that few people are ever willing to talk about. How capitalism strangles the culture out of anything it touches, stripping it from people and turning it into novelty products to sell. The fact that an anime film is talking about this is especially poignant, as American weebs have always had this very nasty habit of attributing the consequences of late-stage capitalism to culture when they happen in countries that aren't white. There's a very potent grief on display in the film, not just for the wilderness, but rural life that late-stage capitalism destroyed. People have a habit of claiming Takahata's work is reminiscent of Stanley Kubrick, but in all honesty, it feels more reminiscent of Tolkien. The lamentation of the natural world being lost to industry, the impersonality of urban sprawl boiling away your friends and neighborhood, and the profound sense of loss at coming home to find a factory where your childhood home had been. It's the profound sense of loss at coming home to find a factory where your childhood home had been, and the pursuit of gold slowly scraping away everything you are, you have ever been, or will ever be, to devote yourself only to it and nothing else. It's all very evocative of Tolkien. There's a read of The One Ring you never heard before. So you might be expecting me to give this film a star and move on, but, and here's the third act twist, I actually really fucking hate this movie. The second half is very beautiful and sad, but a lot of the film is just spent watching the raccoons being assholes as they continuously fight a bleak and unwinnable war against urban development. You already know where the film is ultimately going about 40 minutes in, and like every other Takahata film, it's a full 2 hours long, so it's just overloaded with a lot of repetition. There's a concept of density in storytelling, which is how much information is being conveyed in a given length of time, and Pom Poko is on the low density end of the spectrum. None of this is helped by the fact that the plot may as well just be, the Ents are going to war. It's especially not helped by that the narration by Maurice LaMarche is so mind-numbingly boring that I had to watch the film twice because the first time it was late, I'd been up for 20 hours, and I kept nodding off. I was sorely tempted to scrap this entire video right here because holy fuck, this film is so fucking dull. A lot of the interesting parts about assimilation and capitalism salting the earth don't even come in until 3/4 of the way through. I was already halfway through the films by the time I watched this, enough to know that I overwhelmingly favored the more grounded and less fantastical Ghibli films, and Pom Poko is just a lesser version of Only Yesterday and Nausicaa. It certainly has a sad ending, and it certainly... Oh, where'd it go? It certainly has a sad ending and tries very hard to make you feel the totality of loss that the raccoons are facing, but the fact of the matter is that his other films just do it better. Hey, if the chat's gonna die, then I'm just gonna end the stream early. So. Like, I don't do these reviews, I do it for interaction. My Neighbors the Yamadas is an adaptation of a newspaper comic that ran for about 6 years in the 1990s. A slice-of-life comic, it was basically the Japanese equivalent to Calvin and Hobbes, but without the philosophy divergences. The film takes a number of short stories and stitches them together without anything approaching a coherent narrative. This isn't unusual for Ghibli's work. There's a lot of soft mood pieces in their catalog. Honestly, it's akin to a more grounded version of Howl's Moving Castle. What is unusual is that it's directed by Isao Takahata, the director of Grave of the Fireflies and Only Yesterday. This one is probably the lightest of his films and the least bitterly scathing about urban living. The film stars the titular Yamadas, Takashi Matsuko, Noburo, Nonoko, and the grandmother Shija. It opens with a big display about life as an adventure, where Takashi and Matsuko go from their wedding to a naval adventure across the world to symbolize life's up and downs. And it's a little tongue-in-cheek. Even the stupidest couple have children as fast as you can. This leads to them finding their children. Their eldest they pluck out of a peach in the river, and the youngest they find by cutting open some bamboo and... No, not the suicide baby! No, not the suicide baby! That bit's gonna make sense later. That joke will make sense in a little bit. Following this, we get a number of different vignettes, starting with the family accidentally leaving Nonoko at the department store, then Matsuko having ADHD, to Takashi and Matsuko quarreling like an old married couple being ravaged by Compet, to Takashi and Noburo trying to bond and failing horribly. This family is very dysfunctional, but a fun kind of dysfunctional, like The Simpsons, not the modern miserable kind of dysfunction like the Graves or the Peets. Actually, shit, The Simpsons are probably the best point of comparison, as it really is just an animated dom-com. Now, that being said, the film is way too fucking long. For a series of vignettes more akin to those 3-part TV pilots disguised as a film, except it's many parts, as a film, it's more akin to those 3-part TV pilots disguised as a film that, Disney used to release all the fucking time, except it's many parts and over 2 hours long. Granted, none of Takahata's films are under 2 hours, but this one was the one they really should have been culled down to a more reasonable length. I was quite enjoying it until about the halfway mark, when the novelty wore off and I started nodding off, which was especially infuriating because it meant I had to watch it a second time to get the pieces that I missed, and then I had to watch it a third time because I stalled writing the script for so long that I forgot most of what happened in it. Who's your favorite character, CD? The BB, obviously. The BB, obviously. Nonoko's got the best possible energy the entire film. She's just vibing through everything. When she gets left behind at the mall, she doesn't consider herself lost. It's just everyone else that's lost. She's actually the main character of the original comic, at least according to Wikipedia. And she has a very Calvin by way of Bonnie presence in the entire story. Shija is a close second, mostly because she's voiced by Tress MacNeille, but also because she's the most level-headed of the group, given that the Yamatos are for the most part like someone took the Griffins and replaced all the abuse with the more... Given that the Yamatas are for the most part like someone took the Griffins and replaced all the abuse with more grimacing, that's a sorely needed element for them. And that's really it. If you want to watch a dom-com anime, this is the only port of call. Okay, there's plenty of dom-com animes, but I mean one whose plot doesn't turn into one of these. And now we're at Ponyo. Ponyo is the most recent of Ghibli's massive mega-hit films. It frequently tops charts alongside Spirited Away and Kiki as the best of Ghibli's work. The film is a literal fish-out-of-water story about Ponyo, a little fish girl who escapes from her father, gets stuck in a jar, and is saved by a little boy. The film is a literal fish-out-of-water story about Ponyo, a little fish girl who escapes from her father, gets stuck in a jar... No! And is saved by a little boy. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. The boy takes a liking to her, while her father, voiced by Liam Neeson, goes out on land to search for her, making use of a very particular set of skills. Oh, don't give me that look. It came out the same year. Ponyo and Sosuke form a very fast friendship, and much of the film is centered around them trying to maintain that friendship in the face of Ponyo's father trying to bring her back to the sea, because humans are terrible people who ruin and poison the world. Because humans are terrible people who ruin and poison the planet. Yeah, so it's Little Mermaid, but without the romance. Misanthropic father, fish turns into a human to be with her friend, it's all there. I'm usually pretty down on Ghibli films that have a little I have been so far pretty down on the Ghibli films that have little in the way of themes, but Ponyo is extremely charming, largely because It's just a story about love that isn't painfully amatonormative. But Ponyo is extremely charming, largely because it's just a story about love. The little babies want friends. They must socialize. Ponyo's target of affection, Sosuke, is a 5-year-old boy with a father in the Navy and a mother who works at a senior home and also drives like a maniac. Driving like crazy. I bet this lady tries to beat the train to the tracks, fucking psycho. Sosuke has little in the way of friends, being largely alienated from other children and spending a lot of time at his mother's place of work entertaining the old people. So he and Ponyo find each other seemingly at the exact point they both really need each other. They actually get separated at first, and then at the halfway point they get reunited with a level of delight that's just infectious. This fish baby has one mission, and it's to find the silly boy that fed her the flesh of the living. Unfortunately, Ponyo's little jailbreak seems to have accidentally set off an apocalypse that is causing the moon to draw closer and increasingly flood the planet until every human being drowns. Welcome to the least heavy Ghibli film, everyone! Said apocalypse has been engineered by her father, an immortal sea wizard who hates humans and wants to keep his daughter away from them and dreams of returning the Earth to a primordial... Said apocalypse has been engineered by her father, an immortal sea wizard who hates humans and wants to keep his daughter away from them and dreams of returning the Earth to a primordial ocean. I didn't realize the Cambrian explosion was a suicide bombing, but okay. Ponyo's mother, an immortal sea goddess. Oh, did I mention Ponyo's a demigod of the ocean? Decides to let Ponyo remain a human forever by testing Sosuke's love. If his love is true, she'll be a human forever. And if it isn't, Ponyo will turn into sea foam. Okay, Miyazaki, I know you're older than the Warsaw Pact, but people didn't get married that young, even back then. The next morning, the town is flooded and Sosuke and Ponyo have to take a pop-up... The next morning, the town is flooded, and Sosuke and Ponyo have to take a pop-pop boat out to find his mother, who went missing the night before. Unfortunately, while they find the car, she isn't there. He's about to break down, but it's okay. He has Ponyo with him. Turns out the old ladies and Sosuke's mother were taken into an air bubble by Ponyo's father while they administer the ocean's test of undying devotion, which works and Ponyo gets to be a human with her new friend. In recent years, I've become ironically enamored with non-romantic love and stories, so films like this really tickle my brain, Jillian. It actually is a romance CD. Wait, what? But they're like 5. Okay. Kind of took the wind out of my sails there. I did some searching around, and it seems like the general consensus is that this is a standard love story, with most of the arguments against that just balking at how young they are. But after some reflection, it is kind of amusing. Little kids have a habit of just imitating the grown-ups around them, and sometimes they just decide their partners on a whim. Usually it is swiftly forgotten about 6 hours later, but it would be interesting to see a pair just keep that energy going forever. Like, imagine being their classmates in high school. Hey, when did those two start dating? That's actually a very good question. I think they've always been like that. You ask them how long they've been dating, they say 12 years, and you can never know whether or not they're fucking with you. Okay, I'm convinced that would be funny as hell, so I'm going with that read of the film. Okay, I'm convinced that would be funny as hell, so I'm going with that read of the film. Ponyo is just a good movie. It's unique in that while there's a lot of whimsy in Miyazaki's work, they often have a lot of personal character drama. Even My Neighbor Totoro has it. Ponyo doesn't. This is the lightest film in their catalog. You could actually show it to preschoolers. That makes it both very popular and the elephant in the room when animation snobs start getting huffy about Disney and Pixar being too kiddie, because the kind of person who would point to Ghibli as an example of animation for an older audience Because when it comes to the kind of person who would point to Ghibli as an example of animation for an older audience, they will inevitably point to films that are still extremely safe and child-friendly and avoid the actually dark and heavy films like The Plague. And Ponyo has just sat a little too close to them for comfort. But this film's great. I was actually dreading this one by sheer reputation as the most toothless of Ghibli's films, but I was pleasantly surprised. Who doesn't love The Little Mermaid but Schmoll? Who wouldn't love The Little Mermaid but Schmoll? Nope. And I don't think that any place that's safe is allowed. Something's very wrong, very wrong. Small BB start the end of the world. Delightful. Yeah. Lying on the back of my head, drilling down, drill, and they're calling for death. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these except for little people with great big plans. Little people, they've got helping hands. Daughter, haven't I taught you to forgive and to forget? And if your father sown his oats, well, still you needn't fret. Your father may be father to all the boys in town, and still he's not the one who sired you, so marry who you will. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, so when it comes to actually watching these fucking things, I've got Totoro, Only Yesterday, Whisper of the Heart, Totoro, Only Yesterday, Whisper of the Heart, Mononoke, The Cat Returns, and Earthsea, and then I get into the last two. Oh boy. Daughter, haven't I taught you to forgive and to forget? And if your father sown his oats, well, still you needn't fret. Your father may be father to all the boys in town, and still he's not the one who sired you, so marry who you will. Where did... What did I give Porco Rosso? Oh yeah, A+. Okay. We'll put you... I'm going to change that to A and put you under... I'm going to change that to A and put you underneath Arrietty. Yeah, I like Porco Rosso, but it is not better than Arrietty. I am holding off on Earwig and the Witch and The Boy and the Heron for the very last. I predict that the Earthsea movie is going to be dull to it exist. Okay, here's the thing. So, I am only guessing. Now, I've been marking everything on this fucking tier list here. Like, I already know Only Yesterday is going to be in star tier. I have watched it many fucking times, but at the same time, a lot of, like, I can't just write the script from memory. I do need to actually rewatch it and take notes. So I already know that's up here. But just as a guess, and like, this is literally just me guessing, if I were to put the rest of them up here, based off, like, what I remember from some of them and also what I've heard from others, I'm imagine Totoro is going to be about here. Whisper of the Heart's going to be here. The Cat Returns is going to be
just above Whisper in the Heart. Mononoke is going to be here. Earthsea is at worst. I imagine Earthsea is going to be in D tier along with Earwig and the Witch. Though that having been actually no, Earthsea is going to be in C minus. And The Boy and the Heron, I figure, is probably going to be like around where Ponyo is. That's just me do not take that as like anything definitive. I am only guessing. Ponyo associated Europe to be the baker couple in Kiki's delivery service. Silly, I know, but a fun idea that an ex-magical being helping out a witch. Oh, neat. Totoro. What about Ocean Waves? Ocean Waves is not being included because it does not have an English dub. The fact of the matter is that it is completely and utterly impossible to critique a film if it is not playing in a language you speak. Unless that film is silent. You are inherently just you are taking the performance and the audio out of the fucking equation, and you can't do that with a film that has audio and performing in it. It does have a French dub, and I do speak French, but also, no, I would like to hasten the demise of the French language if I possibly could. Anyway, this is how, oh, fuck, Mononoke. Forgot about you. Anyway, this is how it's looking so far. Oh, wait, where's the Yamatos? Oh, okay. Red Turtle. When? Oh, yeah, I gave when Marnie was there a B as well. What did I give Kiki? B+. Okay, yeah, all right, so the Red Turtle has to go between Marnie and Kiki. But why do you hate French? Do you want me to sit here and list every reason? Because I'm not going to do that. Fuck French. You think Ponyo is still in contact with her dad and sisters as an adult? Not unless she has, like, a submarine or they actually come up on land. Can we hear a bit of French from you? No. I did to speak it. Vowel salad of a language. Yeah. Look. So, in a normal language, the number 91 is said as 91. In French, it's 91, which is 42011. That is so fucking stupid, and I hate it. I hate it so fucking much. It's another one of those. It's another one of those languages where every single word is gendered. Like, French stopped being interesting in 8th grade when we started getting into conjugating verbs, and it was like, this is so fucking mind-numbing. Sorry, what? Huh? Why? Oh, why is it why is 80 420? Why is 90 420 10? I don't fucking know. At least when Spanish genders a word, it just puts an O or an A on the end. It doesn't have a whole fucking system. The French-speaking Belgians and Swiss have fixed the numbers problem. They just use septante and nonce, but themselves just refuse sense. Oh, right. I almost forgot about 70. 70 or 60-10. $60-10, the new funny number. Spanish is phonetic and French is decidedly not. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hell. let's have a little fun. Fuck me. All right. Here. That is the French word for 60. Tell me how you pronounce that. I swear. It's soixante. Myri Melodies almost got it. I can't even begin to guess. Soixante. Oh, actually, we got into 70 and 90, but 99 is the worst. Or sorry, 97 is the worst because it's 97. 420 10 7. Being the second streamer to ever correctly pronounce my name. Thank you. It's playing Kingdom Hearts for as long as I have. The French language is a mistake. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, people get on English for always being basically a fucking mess of a language, but let's be honest, there is literally no ally to North America that is allowed to talk in that regard. All their languages fucking suck. Oh, did I fucking save that as... Oh, shit. Recordings... Ghibli... Yeah, okay, I did. Woo! Go home, French, you're drunk. Ugh. Also, about a third of English is French. Oh, yeah. Like, the reason English is such a mess and is so terrible is because it's made up of other languages. Oh, you want to see footage from my most recent raid night? Skip ahead to when we actually pull. Or did we pull? Oh, did I record a pull? Uh-oh. Oh, here we go.
No one is safe. Get away while you can. The burden is more than. All of this is your own doing. No one is safe. You cannot break the void's grasp. No one is safe! The voices! The power! I can't contain it! Fight it, Mother! You're stronger than the void!
She can't hear us.
Enough posturing, Alaria. It's time to embrace what you truly are.
Anyway, yeah. I've got another raid night tomorrow. Michaela actually raids with me now, which is neat. Yeah, we got up to Illyria on normal. We're probably gonna smash that in little bit. I turn off the fucking raid footage and people come back. We're probably gonna smash that on Sunday, I want to say. Yeah, Sunday. And then it's on to Heroic. I have too many hobbies. I need to drop a couple. I don't have time for any of them.
I'm really digging the music here. Oh, thank you. I use mostly, I use a mod called Combat Music, and most of the music is just like remixes of Kingdom Hearts tracks. Where did it go? The one you were just listening to was actually this one. Unfortunately, when Midnight launched, they actually made the unit names a secret value, so add-ons can't look for them anymore, so I can't set boss-specific music anymore. Otherwise, I'd have used this for Illyria. This one actually gets into... here it is. I love when the electric guitar comes in. I love that one. It's one of my favorites. What song is that? That is called Dark Dive. It is Aqua's boss music. I have actually been quite enjoying Midnight. I might stream some stuff from Midnight. Actually, I was gonna cut the stream. Anytime I start talking about or streaming WoW, everybody just fucking bails. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna take off.